Picture yourself in a quaint little village, where the stillness of the mountains is only interrupted by the gentle ringing of cowbells. Nestled in the hidden corners of Switzerland, there are hamlets that seem to have stepped out of an ancient tale, with few inhabitants, landscapes that resemble paintings, and a routine that is both simple and profound. Life in these secluded areas of the Alps moves at a different pace, without haste, without noise, and with a deep connection to the land, tradition, and the cold that blankets everything for months. Today, you will uncover how the few souls who chose to remain here live. These are people who confront isolation, snow, and the distance from everything, yet still find beauty in the solitude of the mountains. So stay with me until the end, because this journey through the Swiss villages will amaze you with every detail. Switzerland is renowned for its postcard-perfect scenery, but in some of its more remote regions, those very mountains that captivate also act as natural barriers, separating small villages from the rest of the world. Scattered throughout the Alps, these communities are situated in deep valleys, steep slopes, or elevated plateaus, where the terrain does not allow for expansion and access requires effort. Some of these villages lack conventional roads connecting them directly to other towns. Reaching them may mean walking narrow paths, taking a cable car, or navigating tight turns on winding roads that snake through the cliffs. When winter arrives, these roads become treacherous, and in many cases impassable. But it's not just the terrain that creates distance. The very location of these villages, often far from urban centers and surrounded by forests, lakes, or mountains, fosters a genuine sense of geographical isolation. For instance, the time it takes to reach the nearest hospital can exceed an hour, even in ideal condition. This isolation, enforced by nature, has helped keep these communities small, discreet, and deeply rooted in their territory. Geography, while limiting, also provides protection. It safeguards traditions, local languages, ancient lifestyles, and a certain tranquility that seems to have vanished elsewhere. Living in such an environment is not for everyone. It demands resilience, adaptability, and above all, a clear understanding that here, nature reigns supreme, not the other way around. Are you enjoying discovering what life is like in this serene and tranquil corner of the Swiss mountain? Well, know that this is just one of the many fascinating places we will explore together. If you're enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. Do you think you could live in such a peaceful and nature-connected place? Now, let's continue, because what's coming next will surprise you even more. Life in the isolated Swiss villages is simple yet rich in meaning. Here, time seems to slow down, and the routine follows the rhythm of nature. Most families rely on agriculture, livestock, or the production of artisanal cheeses, sold at local fairs or taken to larger towns when access allows. It's common for each household to have its own garden, and residents often make preserves, smoke meats, or prepare food for the harsher months of the year. Physical labor remains a part of daily life. Caring for animals, chopping wood, clearing snow, or maintaining equipment are tasks everyone learns from a young age. Children grow up in direct contact with the land, animals, and a freedom rarely seen in cities. They study in small local schools or must travel to neighboring towns, often covering long distances. The community is very close-knit. With few residents, everyone knows each other and lends a hand. If a family is in need, neighbors show up. If someone falls ill, everyone rallies to help. Traditional festivities, such as religious celebrations or harvests, remain significant moments of gathering, where singing, dancing, and food strengthen the bonds of belonging. During moments of rest, life here is quiet and contemplative. Many spend their time reading, sewing, crafting, or simply gazing at the landscape from their windows. There's no rush, no traffic, no city noise, just the sound of the wind, the cowbells, and sometimes the absolute silence of the mountain. Although they have some modern conveniences like electricity, radio, and even internet access in certain areas, the lifestyle remains deeply rooted in tradition. Living here is in many ways choosing a quieter, deeper and also more demanding path. When winter descends upon the Alpine villages, everything changes. The white, silent landscape is beautiful to behold, but it conceals a harsh reality. The cold is intense, snow blankets everything for weeks, and life must adapt. Here, winter is not just a season, it's a test of endurance. Before the first snowfall, families are already in preparation mode. They stack firewood in large quantities, store food in cellars, test generators, and even keep basic medications on hand, in case someone falls ill and access to the nearest town becomes impossible. The routine becomes more internal, more sheltered, and any outing is planned with care. Some villages can become completely isolated for several days, with no transport available, relying solely on what they have at home. It's during this time that the sense of community strengthens the most. Neighbors exchange supplies, check on the elderly, and help keep the paths clear at least between the houses. Outdoor activities are reduced to the essentials. Children play in the snow, but most tasks move indoors. Many take the opportunity to repair tools, spin wool, craft, or simply rest. The fogged windows, the crackling of the fireplace, and the silence of the snow-covered mountains create a unique, almost magical atmosphere, but also a lonely one. Even though there is electricity, heating, and sometimes access to technology, winter here still carries an ancestral weight. It's a time when nature shows its strength, and the inhabitants learn once again to respect it. It's not easy, but those who live in these mountains know that after so much cold, spring always returns, and with it, life is reborn at a different pace. Despite the isolation, Swiss villages are not completely frozen in time. Gradually, modernity has arrived, but without breaking ties with traditions. Many homes that once relied solely on wood stoves now have modern heating systems. Some villages have cell phone service, satellite internet, and even solar panels, discreetly installed on rooftops, all integrated with care, respecting local architecture. Technology has arrived, but it hasn't dominated. Many residents prefer to maintain their age-old customs. They cook in wood-fired ovens, wash clothes by hand, and tend to livestock as their grandparents did. Modernity is seen more as a support than a replacement. It helps, but it doesn't change the essence. In some cases, this connection to tradition has even become a source of pride. Young people who left to study or work in the city end up returning, wanting to reclaim what they learned as children. They bring new ideas, new ways to generate income, such as rural tourism, or selling artisanal products online, but without breaking with the past. This balance between the old and the new is what keeps these villages alive. It's as if technology must ask for permission to enter, and is only accepted when it helps, not when it hinders. Here, progress moves slowly, with respect, and that makes all the difference. Living in an isolated village in the Swiss mountains is choosing a life of resilience, simplicity, and a deep connection with nature. Here, time is not only measured by clocks, but by the changing of the seasons and the rhythm of daily tasks. It's a way of life that requires dedication, patience, and a rare ability to enjoy the present without being swept away by the pressures of the outside world. However, this life is not for everyone. One must embrace the discomfort of isolation and the challenge of being self-sufficient. But for those who choose this path, there is an indescribable beauty in the tranquility of the mountains, in the silence of winter, and in the unity of the community. The Swiss villages are proof that even in modern times, it is possible to live simply and fully at the same time. They teach us that true balance is not in having more, but in valuing what truly matters, the connection with the environment, with those close to us, and with our roots. These inhabitants, far from the rush and noise of big cities, find in their daily routine a way of life that many of us in our pursuit of success or progress have forgotten. In an increasingly digital and fast-paced world, those who live here remind us of the power of living in harmony with nature and in peace with oneself. And what do you think about life in these isolated villages in the Swiss mountains? Imagine living in a place where tranquility is the norm, but you also have to face the forces of nature, amid harsh winters, difficult roads, and a deep connection to the past. Each day here is a challenge, but also a lesson in resilience and simplicity. Now tell me, do you think you could live in such a place? Have you ever thought about leaving the city to find peace in a special corner like this? Or perhaps you know of other places in the world with that same isolated and unique vibe. Share with us in the comments. We love hearing from you and sharing experiences. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you love discovering new cultures, exploring unique places, and seeing the world through different eyes, this is your space. There's always new content here, so join us on the next journey. Until next time.